guys, and welcome to Sipping Tea with Suzanne. It is February 1st. It is Wednesday. It also happens to be Black History Month, and I am so excited to be here today, not only to kick off Black History, but let me just say this. Black History for me personally is 365. But here's how I've accepted Black History Month. Black History Month is the opportunity for folks who do not understand about Black history to learn about Black history, because there's such a highlight and intentions around highlighting and showcasing the things that Black folks have done, but I already know. So, and I literally fabulous Black woman 365, so I am cool with that. But so Black History Month is here. I'm so excited. I have a fantastic guest with me tonight. Oh my goodness. I wish I had time. I would have brought out the baby pictures, because I have known this guest since she was yee-high.
Glad you have time.
She's like, I don't have time. But let me get to the guest. Right? Let's talk about our sponsors. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. I hope you stick with us, and I hope you tune in week after week. And for my loyal fans, thank you so much for tuning in week after week. And for those who missed it last week, I did have to reschedule last week because of the snowstorm that didn't even happen, right? But they panicked us. I mean, National Grid was sending me email. The schools were shutting down early. Like, they were making it this thing, and then turns out, and you're like, dude. Like, but anyway, safety first. My guest was traveling all the way from Boston, but she's rescheduled to the 15th. But as I mentioned, we're kicking off Black History Month, but I do want to highlight my sponsor. So our space sponsor today is the lovely, the fabulous Life Garden Cafe. Now, Life Garden, yay! Life Garden Cafe is located at 1048 Main Street in Worcester. It is a cafe that serves breakfast and brunch. They serve so many phenomenal things. You could come for a lunch, you could come for a meeting, you could plan an event, you can have a party, you can have a ball. The owners, Marcella and Jess, are phenomenal, fantastic people. And they also have a prom special that they're advertising. So if you have a little one that's going, well, they're not little anymore, I guess. So if you have a not so little anymore one that's going to the prom, please contact Life Garden Cafe. Also, my second sponsor is Paul Anderson Photography. If you're looking to get your personal pictures or headshots, please connect with P. Anderson Photography on Instagram and link him up and get your pictures done. All right, so that's my sponsors. If you're interested in being a sponsor, please DM me, because we could talk. But I am so excited to dive in today. Sha-Asia Medina.
Like, pressure's on.
Girl, please.
Listen. Yes.
All right. So for those of you who are watching, I know the producer said that he was going to zoom out. And if you notice, this girl don't listen.
Always
she
ready.
ain't new to this. She's true to this. All right. Like,
all of that.
So, I mean, if you look on the table, you'll see some things. So I'm going to introduce her, and I'm going to have her talk about, what's on the table and why it's so important for her to bring this into this space. So Sha-Asia Medina, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too, girl.
Everybody has a lot of fun on the couch with Miss Suzanne, so I'm trying to come have my fun. So I'm glad I'm here. Peace, everybody. Thank you for having me on the first day of Black History Month. Is like,
girl,
big
it was
honor.
Intentional.
Well, thank you.
It was intentional.
I am grateful.
Nobody else. Well, your mama, but
she's at the Village running the business class that Miss Suzanne will also be teaching next week. We're gonna talk about that later. But shout out to my mama Parley. She's dope. She's the reason I do all this stuff.
Exactly.
So, all of that.
Yes.
But again, thank you for having me.
Anytime.
And just meditating on these beautiful pictures, symbols, things that are here. The first picture is a black and white picture of a gentleman whose name is Carter G. Woodson. And it's important that we know him always, but this month, because he is the founder of Negro History Week, which was, the first one was February 7th, 1926. So we're slowly coming on like the 100-year anniversary of the first like Negro History Week, which would become Black History Month. So we honor him and thank him, because without him, we wouldn't be celebrating this so-called Black History Month.
Amen now.
So shout out to Carter G. Woodson. He's a powerful ancestor that we should all know and respect. And the other gentleman, I think, is like a comparison of where we've been and how much work we still have to do as we celebrate the beauty of our history and culture, and then also just kind of make space to the reality of the situation we know Black folks live in. And this brother is Tyree Nichols, who will also be traveling with me everywhere I go this month, who hopefully folks know was unfortunately lost his life at the hands of 5 police officers and some other folks. There's a number of folks that should be held accountable for the loss of his life in Memphis just a few days ago, not too long ago. So just carrying them both with us, because even though Tyree died in a tragic way, he's an ancestor. Same way George Floyd is an ancestor and Breonna Taylor is an ancestor. So I think it's a good way to balance like all the great accomplishments and all the work that we still need to do. So they're my people I'm carrying with me at wherever I go this month. So.
Girl, I got chills. Like, I love that you started with the main course and not the salad. Like, girl, listen, we just went into it.
We're just warming up. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's
More
okay.
to come.
You know, I love that. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show, the first day of Black History Month, you know, if you heard me at the beginning, I talk about, like, you know, I had wrestled with, like, you know, Black History Month, and, you know, they fought for it. You know, it started with, you know, Negro History Week, and then it turned into Black History Month. They fought for it, and, you know, like I said, it's a time for awareness for folks who do not live Black 365, and even for us, because if you know, I mean, listen, what's happening in Florida, right? African American studies is banned in school, right? So if you look at things like that, like we are constantly being written out of history book where, you know, they're trying to erase our history. So if Black History Month is a time when they highlight Black films and, you know, the rich plethora of our many
Black
talented
fashion, Black accomplishments, Black invention, like whatever it is.
We're gonna take it.
Talking about
We're gonna take it, and you know, like, so then the spotlight's on during that month, but for the rest of the year, we do work.
Like, you know, we out here all day, every day, Black.
All day, every day, all day, every day. Like I said, you ain't new to this, you're true to this, and I'm gonna say that because. Okay.
The ripe age of 25.
I know, right? Listen, but your experience though is far greater than your numerical. Lord,
I got you.
Listen.
That's also the beauty of being Black, is that I got you. I know what you're saying. Numerical.
You know what I'm saying? Numerical age. Lord, that took a minute. But anyway, because I think that, you know, like, and I give credit to your mom for when she was raising you, she really instilled that sense of pride in being Black. This sense of pride in learning your history.
Absolutely.
And not just learning the history that's in the history books, but, you know, going to other sources and find books that were written by us that is not in the mainstream, and just really investigating and finding out, you know, who we are, what our culture, our history, and making sure that it's constantly being told.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I love that.
There needs to be more and more and more of it. So,
yeah.
Plenty of opportunities this whole month.
This whole month,
for
like,
people
right?
to do what they got to do. So, bring your babies, bring yourself, bring your elders. Everyone's welcome.
You mentioned something, which I actually, well, you know, you said this whole month, and I mean, I know you brought this with me, and with you, and this is actually something that I was very excited to see, because so this is the Black Community Calendar, and it's put on by the Village. But before I share this, let's talk about what is the Village. For those who don't know, and if you don't know,
you better learn.
You better learn.
Come on. So, if you don't know what the Village is, so I'll even rewind it a little further. So my mom, Parley Jones, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then had, you know, whatever happens. Brooklyn in the house. But we had to come back to Worcester at some point because of life. And so my mom returned to the city of Worcester with 2 Black children in hand and was like, similar to what you just said, my kids are going to know who they are. In New York, it's normal to see Black veterinarian, Black doctor, Black this, that, and the other. And at the time, Worcester, there wasn't too much going on as far as Black history and culture was concerned. And my mom said instead of teaching her own children, she was just going to teach the entire community. Whoever wanted to come could come. So she's been running Our Story Edutainment for years. And it's Our Story Edutainment because history is his story. We're usually not in it. And our story is our story, and we should be telling it. And we edutain folks, so instead of just talking at you, we're going to have a musician or a dancer or a vendor or art or whatever we can use so that you're having fun. And then you learn like who Marcus Garvey is and what the red, black, and green colors mean or whatever it is. And then when George Floyd happened, which again is a way for us to reflect that here we are almost 3 years out from George Floyd, and now we just spoke our brother Tyree Nichols, and unfortunately Keenan Anderson is another gentleman. Anthony Lowe out in California was last Thursday. There's a couple of people in the last month really. But we said Worcester is the second largest city in the state of Massachusetts and in New England. And Black folks, where do we gather when we want to celebrate, or when we need to grieve, or when we just need to be in space with one another and learn about our history and culture? Where do we do that? And we didn't really feel like it was happening in a way that we would have liked to see. So we created the Village and started rehabbing a building in September 2020. And then finally opened up in May 2021. And it's an Afrocentric cultural learning and healing center. So we finally have a building where we're teaching Black history and providing opportunities for folks to explore holistic healing, and have 11 grassroots and nonprofit organizations that operate out of our building every single day, which is a lot of fun too.
It is.
All of that.
It is. Okay, listen, I love the Village. I'll tell you my problem with the Village though. I don't know how to leave when I'm there.
Oh, listen, somebody got stuck. Somebody didn't realize they had a meeting at 12:40. It was like 1:30.
It was like, I was
get stuck.
I'm like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. And then I pick up my coat. Okay, bye. And then I pick up my bag. Okay, bye.
Look who's coming through now. Oh, shoot, I got to stay another 25 minutes.
Exactly. And 2 hours later, I'm still there. So I got to figure out how to leave the Village, y'all.
You figure something out, tell us. We're going to let other people know.
I know, but it's all good though.
It
Like,
is.
I love that.
Yes.
You know, you guys set out to create a community, and you have established that. And I know that it's called the Village because it does take a village.
Absolutely.
And I love just the plethora of things that you guys have at the Village. You know, you guys have financial literacy courses. You have, you know, you talk about, you know, business courses. Like I have Raquel Knight, who's there tonight teaching.
Right now.
Yes, literally right now. That's why you're not there. You know, I'll be there next Tuesday teaching business plan basics. You guys did end of life, and you know, I've attended so many different things. You guys did the Kwanzaa, like just the meaning of Kwanzaa, and you did that.
Definitely.
But you are a font of information about our history. So, but how is that? Like, I know that your mom instilled that in you, and like sometimes, you know, our parents teach us things that we, you know, stray away from. How are you able to retain that knowledge and continue to learn more every single day? And why is that important to you?
That's a really, really good question. I'm not positive how it's sticking,
Okay.
but it's sticking.
It's like, girl,
I
it
don't know.
is.
I mean, it's the ancestors put me on a certain path and decided that this is what my work is, to teach Black history and culture. So they make sure it stays wherever it's supposed to stay. But I mean, I will say, like, I showed up to college my first year not knowing nothing. Like, shout out to all the first years that are going out to college and are like, what's an office hour? What do you mean I needed my book? Like, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. I just showed up and was like, oh snap, this is what college is. And once I found community, once I found, you know, the other Black kids there that like didn't know Kwanzaa, had never celebrated Kwanzaa, didn't know what, like, who Malcolm X was, didn't know this. I thought everybody had a Parley Jones at home.
Girl, no.
And I did not realize until I went to college and was like, oh, like these kids real life do not know what this stuff is. And I already had that kind of, I don't want to say leg up, like I was better than somebody, but I had all this knowledge that like my friends and other folks were just getting to. So I think my mom set like a really strong foundation. And then from there, I was like, I don't care what the class is, I'm gonna make it about Black people. I don't care if it's a human resources class, if it's a physics class, if it's like whatever it was, I was devoted to learning about Black history and Black people. So I could spin anything. Any assignment you give me, it was gonna be about Black people. I made a commitment that I was going to higher ed, but I was gonna learn about Black history, whatever major, whatever ended up being. I mean, I think it's important. I think that our stories are not being told. I think that Black people are a miracle in this world because the things that we have experienced and the ways in which people, systems, things have really like been committed to down pressing on us and keeping us down. And by some miracle, like here we are, creating families and like memories and businesses and all these things in the face of slavery and Jim Crow and all of these things, police violence even today, and people, you know, I just think we're a miracle, and I think that we have this unique spirit about us that I take pride in, and I celebrate, and I am grateful for, and I think more people should know that and be aware of that, Black people and non-Black people. So
absolutely,
that's where I'm at with it. I guess that's how it sticks.
Because it's you know, it's you. Like it's you.
It's
this
like
is
not
your
my work.
history. Like
It's
it's
my
who
call.
you are. Like it's who you are. You don't have to fake it. It's
Exactly.
who you are. I love that. So I also know, because I know you, you went to the motherland, girl.
I did. I sure
Yes.
did. I went to
What
Ghana
was that
and South
experience
Africa.
like?
It was an interesting. So it was an interesting time to be alive.
Okay.
For sure. I would say I went to South Africa and Ghana, and there's 54 countries in the continent of Africa. Every country is different. Everybody has their different histories and so on and so forth. So they were like two completely different worlds in one continent. I think South Africa for me was humbling because I think it's the closest, like today, that you're going to get to feeling what our ancestors felt like during Jim Crow. It was like a real bizarre, like, you know, white people sit in the restaurant and black people serve. And you could kind of like get the order wrong and white people are freaking out and hitting people. And it was like a very surreal experience for me to be a part of. So I was like, okay, this is different. And it was humbling. But I also had like beautiful experiences there. I got to go to Robben Island, which is where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years. I went to see Sarah Bartman, Saartjie Bartman's like final resting place. She's a woman in Black history whose body was on display all across Europe for a long period of time. So I had some really beautiful experiences and some really humbling experiences. And Ghana, I think for me, West Africa, which is where, like I always kind of joke, like if you're a black person in Haiti or Jamaica or Trinidad or the United States, like wherever you are, Brazil, like most likely you're not an Egyptian person, most likely you're not a Somalian person, you're coming from West Africa, just geographically. So you're coming from Ghana or Nigeria or Senegal or Sierra Leone. So I like visited slave dungeons and went to the door of no return and was in some of them spaces where our ancestors were held and died, and final space they were in the motherland before they went away, which is again just humbling. And it also reminded me that there's a lot of work to be done between like our friends from Africa and those of us who you know, were transported and endured slavery and have a different culture that can still be tied back to the motherland. But you know, I think there's a lot of love and a lot of work that has to be done between the continent and where we are now. So.
Okay. So, I mean, I've followed a couple people who have visited Africa and, you know, mentioned like just visiting these dungeons and things like that. And like they say, like when they walk in, you know, you mentioned that, you know, hey, you have a humbling feeling, like they could, it's just, I don't want to say heaviness, but like their heart was breaking because they kind of felt.
Absolutely.
And then they thought, like, if this is like this for me, can you imagine the ones that were going through it that had literally no hope? And like they walked out, like they went in knowing that they could walk out at any time, you know, go on their fancy flights and go back home. But like this was
it's this, as you don't do the things that you did to people in there and the energy not stay. If you're someone who believes in energy and spirits and all that kind of stuff. And I know, like, I walked in and I didn't speak while I was in there the whole time. I didn't say not one word in there. And I went to 2 of them, and the feeling was the same in both. I just had to kind of stand there. And you just feel a lot of stuff. I mean, we went in a room that was small, like not even the size of this. It was so small, and they were telling us, like, and it smelled so bad. Like, it smelled horrible. And here I am, like, saying this in, you know, 20 whenever. Because people weren't allowed to use the bathroom. So if you're sick and you're throwing up, it's, you know, you're just right here. And there's like, it's like the floor and there's like this much of just all kinds of stuff. And it's hot. It's West Africa, so it's hot. It's all heck. And there's just one little window. And they would put 200 people in a room like that, shackled to each other. And it's humbling. Very humbling to think that millions of people went through that at some point. And well, I feel like we're a miracle because
absolutely.
How do you survive that?
I don't know. We did though.
We sure did, and we
did.
Here.
And we came out of that. You know, we're lawyers and doctors and teachers and athletes and entertainers and you know we're mothers and grandmothers and you know we came out of that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why it's so important for us to learn our history.
Exactly.
Not to be bitter because you know honestly. Bitterness doesn't solve anything. You know, you mentioned love. Love, honestly, is self-love first, because after going through that, it's hard to believe that you're worthy. Like somebody would treat you like you're not human. So, it's pretty hard. But yeah, you are correct. We are a miracle. And I think it's so important that we continue to study Black history. We continue to teach Black history. And we fight like all get out to make sure that our youths are taught. So Florida, I'm talking to you. Get it together.
Come on, Florida.
Get it together. And Black folks, do not vote for DeSantis. All right, it's
Like-
not a political show. I get it. But come on.
Sometimes there's politics and sometimes there's truth.
Like, the truth is, like, you cannot block Black history. Like, you cannot. Like, we have to do better. We have to learn it. And, I'll encourage you to find the resources that are out there, and because it's not commonplace, and just get educated on our history and the things that we went through. But like she said, we're a miracle because look at us now. Like, we're smiling, like we're happy. We are changing things.
We're here.
So like we're building generational emotional health and healthy people. So we've certainly come a long way, but as you mentioned earlier, there is still a lot of work to be done. As we mentioned on the top of the hour, especially what's happening right now with Tyre Nichols, unfortunately, Black men are still at a high disadvantage when it comes to their interaction with the police. They're still losing their lives, and they still have to. And the other day, so everybody was posting, and it was, it's difficult for me to post because it's like as I'm posting, like tears are streaming down my eyes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna connect with others folks' posts, and what resonates with me, I'll give a heart. I'll say something. But I think, it's because I'm trying to post and it's just so emotional, and I'm like, I don't want to take away, because it's like, I don't know him, but I know him. This is my brother.
He's our brother.
This is my brother. So it's so difficult to see.
And you could know him, unfortunately.
I could. It's
the Black men in your life, the Black women in your life, the Black children in your life. That could be anybody, unfortunately.
No, it could. And as I was thinking about it, I was saying to myself, why do Black men have to consistently prove their humanity and their right to live? No other race. No other race has to prove their humanity. So that is very humbling because, I feel like we've come so far, what we're allowed to do and the freedom that we have, but then we go back to something like this and it takes us back, and we hope that after George Floyd, that this was a eye-opening moment. This was the moment they were like,
grand
no
reckoning.
more. This is the come to Jesus moment. And it was, his death changed a lot of things, but it continues to happen. So I'm so proud of, folks like you that are in communities that are continuing to educate, continuing to spread love, continuing to teach, Black pride, and not only just talking about it, but are creating actions around it. Organizing marches and peaceful marches, because I went to a march that you did for Black Lives Matters after, the death of George Floyd, or the murder of George Floyd. So I think that's great that you're continuing to do that, and I am very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Young lady.
Like auntie, older cousin energy.
Right. I'll be auntie.
I'm not. I don't want to auntie you necessarily, but if you want to get auntie, you can
look
be.
good.
Listen, I was like, listen. I told Auntie about 5 times before that camera went on, and he shushed us that she was looking good. So.
It's like, no, it's all right. I'll be auntie for you. I've known you for so long.
Long time.
Long time.
Very long time.
And I'm just so proud of you.
Well, thank
you. I'm really proud of everything that you're doing, from the village. All right. So we're going to go into something else, but how would you encourage someone who wants to know about Black history and, if you would recommend a country for them to visit to kind of get that experience? How would you recommend them going about it?
That is a really great question. I think that if you're interested in Black history, you're going to have to be somewhat interested in maybe reading or watching a movie, watching a podcast. It can't be just anything. That's part of the challenge, because there's some things that teach lies about Black history and reinforce some of those ugly stereotypes that exist about us, which we should be aware of. But too much of that mess with your mental health and how you view yourself and your people and, you know, the world. Somewhere that I have not been that I would love to be, I'm going to say two, because so every year, Carter G. Woodson's organization that he created, there's actually a theme for Black History Month every year.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago was family, last year was health. This year is resistance. It's all about resistance and rebellion, and that we didn't just accept this reality and just say, okay, you want to oppress me? Okay, we'll just take it. That we fought back literally every single step of the way. In the dungeon, on the ship, on a plantation, wherever it was, we were always fighting back. I know it's a island that has somewhat turmoil, and I have not been, but one place that I would love to go is Haiti, because Haiti is the first and only free Black republic, the only successful uprising of enslaved people. And I think that Haiti catches a lot of mess because of that, and because the world is real mad at Haiti, because then Haiti had the nerve to liberate Dominican Republic and send people over here and send people to Cuba, and a lot of the Caribbean islands like owe Haiti some love for their support in liberating them from their colonial powers. But Haiti is on my list. Brazil is another place. There's more Black people in Brazil than in the United States or in Haiti or in any other space in the world. Like Africa has the #1 population of Black people, and Brazil is #2. Because there was so many people brought during the slave trade to Brazil.
Yeah.
Might be another interesting place to check out.
That is so fascinating, because it's like sometimes people think it's like Black folks is just Africa, but you know, it's like, or you know, the Caribbean.
Slavery is just
like,
the U.S. Like it's a U.S. thing, and only
not.
6% of people went to the U.S. That means 94% of people went to all those islands and parts of South America, and we don't hear that often.
It was all over the world. It was all over the world. Europe benefited greatly from the slave trade.
Europe, man. I always joke, Spain, England, and France. Everybody speaks Spanish, French, and English.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'm not saying nothing about it. I'm just saying that's nobody's natural language. It's languages that we know, we take pride in, and so on and so forth. But like those are colonial languages, and the fact that I can go to Ghana and show up in a class and like everybody speaks English, and I don't have to work to be present in a class. Like they're not speaking their traditional languages. Speaks to the negative impact of Europe all around the world, unfortunately. But
well,
that's another sip and tea.
That's
episode.
another whole sip and tea. That might be a podcast episode.
The evils of Europe.
It's
back in the day.
girl. It's okay. But you know what, though? I mean, you're just speaking the truth. It's a fact. It's something that happened.
They said the sun never sets on the British Empire. They owned so much land that it was always daytime somewhere in one of their territories. They said that, not me.
Yeah. I mean, it's fact. So, you know, but yeah, I do think it's so important for us to continue to seek ways to learn our history, our culture. You know, there's so much to celebrate. Like, and I tell you, resilience. Like, it's just one of the words that I would use for our history, like our culture, our people. Resilience.
Bounce back game is strong. For real.
Lord. Ooh, talk about the comeback.
Listen.
All right, yes. So let's talk about the Village. You know, we talked about, you know, what it is, how it's created, and I know that you're the executive director there and you get to work with your mom.
Like that, right?
Yes.
And titles.
Like, it is what it is.
I know.
It is what it is.
I know.
It is what it is. That's what you
paper.
are.
It's all good. That's
you got to do what you got to do to get what you got to get.
Yes.
In order to advance who you got to advance.
So,
if you know, you know.
I hear you. I know through you.
Okay.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
So you guys are doing a lot of things, and I mentioned earlier, you know, the Black History calendar for the month of February. I was very excited for it to come out because there's so many different things. I mean, I think there's a couple of days that are free, so I got to figure out that.
I know. We were like, do we feel something? Do we breathe?
I know, right? Like, no, it's okay. But you know, like, so I had these conversations, you know, with your mom, and I was saying that, like, I wanted to see an event or an activity like every day for Black History Month, and I was gonna try and support like as many as I can. I'm gonna try all of them. But like,
I got you.
You know, and what I wanted to see was instead of like 50 of us doing an event and 5 people at each for us to collaborate and have like one big event, because when we come together, like it's just incredible, like the amount of things that we can do. So I was very happy, and I got the email with it, and like I have it on my thing, and it was posted, and it's, like just a couple of things. And thank you. I see Sipping Tea with Suzanne is all over every Wednesday.
The Village loves Miss Suzanne.
Yes, and Miss Suzanne loves the Village.
There you go.
And but I just like the just the different things that are happening. So like tonight, as we mentioned, Raquel is there teaching steps to start a business. We're like they're talking national Black and HIV and AIDS awareness. Like there's just so many different things that's on this, and there's yoga. I know Born teaches yoga. I'll be teaching business plans basics, on Tuesdays. The Black Entrepreneurs Business Summit is on there. So there's so many different things for Douglas reading. This has been happening for
years.
Yeah, for
and this
so
is like
long.
a special little pop-up one for Black History Month, and I think they're talking like there's going to be a discussion and so on and so forth. And there's an extra special, I think the 46th stamp from the Black Heritage Collection
dedication,
is being released, and it's going to be dedicated to the Village, which will be special. So we'll have the 46th Black Heritage stamp will be up at the Village, but that ceremony will happen at that event as well.
No, I love that. Like there's so many, things, the Village Marketplace. One of my favorite, the Bob Marley birthday bash.
Listen. We're ready. We're ready. Yes.
That was literally my first hosting experience.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Now you're hosting left and right, everything.
Girl, I was like tiny. I think
we had her first.
Yes, I know. Your mom used to call me the hostess with the mostest.
Yes.
we won't talk about the mostest was.
Well, one year the mostest was Baby.
I know, right?
And another year, that's one of my favorite pictures, is the Bob Marley shirt with the big belly and the heels.
Come on now.
Okay.
I was not going to leave my heels alone. And you know what's funny?
Yes.
So I hosted that, what day? It was early. It was the 6th or something. And then I had Sophia Grace on the 19th.
Oh.
So it was
right there.
It was literally, I could have had her at the bash, girl.
Listen. I've been in my sneakers. I was in my sneakers.
You were.
Listen,
she could have been born at the Bob Marley birthday bash.
That would have been
a story.
The most memorable of all of them. This is the 18th one this year, so that would have been.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna.
Remember the one when?
Yes, remember when?
Right.
Yeah, no, and
that's so funny.
I had the same Bob Marley shirt because I'm like, this is gonna fit me.
Right.
So listen, that was a good shirt because
it was a good shirt.
I have it. So I pulled it out the other day, and I'm like, I wonder if this is going to fit.
Put a little undershirt under for when it ride up or something. I don't know.
If it fit me at 9 months pregnant, I mean, I was tad skinnier, but
that's okay. That's all right. Pull it out.
That's all right. But yeah, no, I loved it. My mama would be cooking, the ginger beer, and we used to host it at the library, and we had the time to, although I will miss that because we had to leave at a certain time. Oh. I think being hosted in the Village, we ain't gonna leave.
Oh. Well, this year,
I know, I saw, I did see that.
But that is one of my favorite parts of the Village that I joke about all the time. Is it used to be 4:45, and the library's we closing in 15 minutes, and we're there's a full band, there's a cake, there's food. What do you mean we're leaving?
Yeah, we got it done though. we were cutting that cake up and getting
rid of it. And they liked us because they let us come back every year.
Every single year. But no, I'm glad that we have this space, and I saw that it was at the
Worcester
Youth Center this year. So I'm excited about that.
Exciting.
I think there's a lot of things coming up for the Village and things like that.
Yeah.
So what else is coming up for the Village? So I know the idea of why you started it and what you're doing. What are your plans or what are your goals or what do you hope for the Village?
My hope is, and I actually just got a notification a couple days ago that this will be coming into real life because I got some funding to do what I need to do, which is exciting. But for me, people like to tell my mom, what did you do? How did you get her to be like this or whatever? And I was involved in racial justice, social justice workshops, trainings as a young person. I think my first one was the year before I went to high school or something like that. I did an Undoing Racism training. Yeah. And there was a lot of youth racial justice, social justice, knowing what is racism, knowing what is classism, what is sexism, what is all these things. And I don't see too much of that happening in our community right now, young people being engaged in that way, where we could real life have young people host a rally, young people, high school age kids, we were doing that kind of work, you know what I mean, when I was in high school. So we're going to be doing a lot of that this
Oh
year.
my,
We're
that's
going to be
awesome.
engaging young people to be advocates and leaders in racial justice, so they know racism is not just like me not liking you. It's this systemic issue that's bigger than whatever. And sexism is not just this, it's this, and the history of classism and how race and class are like
Yeah, get into the root
cousins.
of it.
You know,
Like, yeah, get into the root of it.
All of that.
I mean, honestly, to understand, why.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, folks just hate you for no reason. And you're like, okay.
Yep.
But,
It's like they hating the shine.
but you know what, though? Like, I think sometimes, when you end up talking to folks and they realize, like, dude, we're the same. Like, we get up, we still go to jobs sometimes we don't like.
Yep.
We still got to pay them bills. We got to shovel out the snow. I mean,
Yep.
okay, I've established that I don't shovel snow. Like,
I do it for my mama. Like, I can't wait for my day when I don't have to shovel snow, but I'm
Yes.
still shoveling. So
Okay.
my mom gets to say that.
Your mom gets to say that. So,
yes.
because I know my daughter's going to tell me, like, every time I mention it, she's like, Mom, you don't shovel snow.
Like, she better mind her business.
Thank you.
Talking to her mama like that.
Thank you.
I
She
wish I would
didn't
tell my
talk
mama
yeah,
that.
she's like, Mom, you don't shovel snow. No, she says it respectfully. But
That's
she's
all
like,
right.
She's like, you don't shovel snow. It was like
She's
last
funny.
night. I know.
She's funny.
I'm texting her, and she was like, so I was like,
can't.
Sarah, I'm gonna drop this beat on you. She's like, what? And I was like, I'm gonna drop this beat. Don't you know that my flow is smooth? She's like, Mom, who is teaching you these things?
Oh no. She said, if it's not me, then who? Sarah, it's not me. I didn't teach her that. I'm just saying.
I just like to mess with her. Like, yeah.
That's a mama's duty. I get it.
I was like, my beats are smooth.
You
and
better come on and talk about it. Come on, smooth beats. I'm here for
Girl,
it.
I don't know.
I love it.
I ain't no rapper, but
I'm with it.
Like, yeah, so
You
no,
tell me
like,
that's your next journey, I'm with it.
Girl,
I'm
right?
right there at the show. You better tell me. Where's it at?
all right, girl, you're here to hear first. I'm gonna be a rapper. Like, what should my rap name be?
Oh, positively soothed. Nah, I'm kidding.
All right,
I
like,
gotta stay with positivity.
I like P Sue. Or my name is P, and I'm on the beat.
Come listen. Start like. It's a Black History Month exclusive.
Oh, jeez, I
I'm here
was.
for it. All Black History Month long, every February, P. Sue is gonna make an appearance. Y'all better act like you know something.
And not pea soup.
I'm ready. No.
Not pea soup. Like,
Yes.
even though I'm from Jamaica and that's quite popular, but
That's
like,
all right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all right.
yeah. Like, so
Pea
yeah.
soup. I
If you
love
want, I'll be at the open mic night.
Come through. I'm like last Friday of the month. Come on through.
Oh my
That's so
goodness.
funny.
Oh Lord, I can't. I
can't.
just can't.
Well,
okay.
you know, the more you know.
So let me get
all
serious.
of that.
All right. So
Yes. But plenty more to come from the village. There'll be
yeah.
all kinds of workshops. We're talking about making maybe a Black women's group, which I've been saying for a while, and then stuff got busy, but hopefully March for Women's History Month, we'll be launching a space where Black women and girls can kind of just come and
Let me know, girl.
Yeah, I know you'll be there.
Let me know, because, like when we formed Sister Circle,
Yep.
and, me, Nataki, Marsha, and Raquel,
Yep.
and it's a space for women, but I love that, and, like, that you guys are, because I think that I'm anywhere that's supporting women, that's empowering women, that is empowering Black women, so
Yep.
let me know, girl.
Absolutely.
Like, because
Absolutely.
we don't need one, we need multiple.
We need many, many, many.
Like,
Yep.
we need more, because people feel comfortable in some spaces,
Yep.
they might not feel comfortable in some spaces, and you know what, not every group is yours.
Exactly.
And not every tribe is yours.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and it's okay. It's okay.
And the more opportunities for Black women to gather, like who's
Exactly.
complaining, there should be 10 a month.
Exactly.
So we can all show up.
Form all the groups.
Listen.
Form all the groups
Yep.
so that like every Black woman feels like she has a place to be. She has a place to go and feel seen,
Yep.
and she has a place to go to feel heard.
All of that.
So one of the things I was looking at this week, and I'm so like I just couldn't make it. Last night, you guys had the space for folks to come and really talk about, the Tyree Nichols situation. And, and I'm glad and I'm hoping you guys, will have more places like that where you're able to show up and just be your fully vulnerable self.
Yep.
And knows that, like, that person next to you, like, you sitting there with tears streaming down your eyes, knows exactly what you're going through.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And just free of like I think solidarity is important. We need everybody. Like, it's all of us or none of us. And like nobody gets to sit racism out. Like, everybody got a role.
You do.
Everybody got a job, you know what I
You
mean?
do.
So, but at the same time, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need you asking me questions
Yeah.
and you don't get it and you feel like there's a time and place for everything. And
Yeah.
sometimes Black folks just need a space to like breathe without the camera, without the this and the that and the other, and just like be for a minute. And that's what the space was yesterday. And those who needed that space found their way there. So
Okay.
it
All
was
right.
good stuff. And there'll be more of that in the year.
All right. So I know you don't like to brag, but you won an award the other day. So tell us about it.
Something like that. I was acknowledged and celebrated for my work with Promoting Good, which is a group of really women of color who are doing like racial justice and you know DEI consulting, which was exciting. And then I got Pulse magazine's like ones to watch, person to watch, somebody to watch in 2023, which is, you know,
Yeah.
I always just joke, I just do the work and
It's
whatever
all right.
happens, happens.
We'll celebrate
and,
you.
Well, I'm always grateful, especially when it's like community. Like if I got like an Oscar award, I'd be like, all right. But
Yeah. I know,
like,
right?
when community is like,
Yeah.
you doing good stuff, I'm like, word, that means
And
a lot.
listen, I am
You
so
know?
torn by that though, because it's like, because I remember back in the day, I used to love the Oscars. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't even watch the Oscars anymore. I actually like when, you know, last year with what happened, I literally had to go back and see somebody's clip.
I didn't
Because
watch any
I
of it
just
either.
think that, you know, and I feel bad because like, you know, these actors and actresses, they work really, really hard at their craft. And like Viola Davis in The Woman King, like deserves an Oscar for that, because you're saying that's the pinnacle
Yeah.
of, you know, like whatever. But I also know that like Angela Bassett has never had an Oscar, and that girl could act.
And she's with everybody. She was
like,
Biggie's mama.
girl,
She was in
she's
this. She's in
everybody's
this.
mama.
She's in Boys in the Hood. Like she's in
She's
everything.
Angela and looks the same.
Don't even make no
FYI.
sense that she
But-
I'm like, that's gonna be us.
Like, girl.
25 years, we're gonna
Thank
look
you.
just like this.
Like, yeah,
I love
no. Listen, so I wrestle because I'm like, you know, it's a great achievement for them, but then I'm thinking to myself, I don't want them to get so caught up in chasing that they're just not having fun. That's why I like the NAACP. I'm like, yeah, you know, go like whatever, but like do it for the work's sake, not just for the you know the
And
acknowledgement.
do it with integrity.
Exactly.
So you're not selling your soul to get an Oscar and
Exactly.
an Emmy and a whatever the heck.
So I
That's
get
not
that.
good.
I
Yeah.
get that. I get that, you know, you're appreciative of, you know, getting accolades and, you know, getting recognized. But I think if it does raise awareness around the issues that you're trying to get out there.
Yep. I mean, my speech
Why
for
not?
Pulse was about Tyree Nichols before everybody was talking about Tyree
Before,
Nichols.
yeah.
I was watching and I had
bet
been
you
telling
would,
my
though.
mom, I said, listen, something's gonna drop. They're gonna
Yeah.
put that video out and then it's gonna be a thing. But you know.
Yeah. But, you know, I
That's
think
all.
because that's what you do. That's all you do. You're always
Yep,
like
that's
learning.
my
Like
work.
you don't wait till it's mainstream. You're actually, you know, the forgotten names. Because the sad thing is, if Tyree Nichols wasn't plastered all across our screens, we probably would have missed everything about him. Because and for every Tyree Nichols, there's somebody that we don't even know their name.
Exactly. That's why I chatted with someone was chatting with my mom and I this morning about Tyree Nichols and just like the mental health of Black folks around this time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that there's some women, because Black women are also victims of police violence and so on and so forth.
Sandra
And
Bland.
you know, Breonna Taylor happened
Yes.
4 months before George Floyd, and we
Tatiana
weren't
Jefferson,
talking.
yeah,
Tatiana
so
Jefferson's
Jefferson.
sister just passed away yesterday.
whole family.
That whole family, that little boy, like his mom, his grandparents, and his aunt have passed away, and those are like some of the
Yeah.
subtle things that happen when police come in our communities and disrupt families like that. Eric Garner, his daughter became an advocate for him, and she passed away. Like
Yeah.
the stress,
It takes
You know.
a toll. It takes a toll. And I think that's why
many
for me,
victims.
it's so important that like there's a community, like there's a Black community, there's a support like environment, like, you know, like people are showing up for each other, like there's a safe space to talk about it. Like for me, I'm so big on, you know, Black sisterhood, like encouraging each other, pushing each other,
Yeah.
you know, like believing, you know, you can do all things.
Yep.
Like my girls, like I love my girls. Like, you know,
Yep.
it's good. It's
Yep.
you know, it's kind of like, I mean, I have my friend,
Yep.
you know, Nataki in the audience today, and you
Yep.
know, we've been friends for a long time. But you know, that's my sister, and you know, I mean, although she might not believe I could rap, but I tell you this though, if I start a rap career, she will buy my album.
Listen, look.
She will tell
You'll
me.
share it. I'm with it. Look.
She will.
Me
She'll
and her.
say, Suzanne.
Me and her in the front of the
Thank
concert.
you. She'll be at the concert,
Right.
and she'll say, Suzanne, you can't rap, but I'll be there. But that's
Which is also love. I mean,
It
I'm
is
like,
love.
like,
you need the truth.
you want to go make a fool of yourself, you do that, and I'll
Like-
be right there with
Like
you.
she's like, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna buy the album. I'll
Hey,
share it on social
listen.
media. But girl, you can't rap. It's like, and that's love.
I mean, hey,
We
you
need that
sisters
though.
like that too.
And that's
Yep.
to me is sisterhood. Telling you the truth,
Yep.
but supporting you anyway.
Yep,
You
definitely.
know, do you remember that episode? I don't know if you watched Living Single. I mean, this was
yeah.
before your
Oh,
time.
that's one of my
So you saw the
favorites.
reruns, girl.
Oh, listen.
You saw the reruns.
They're my favorite.
Like, we watched it live.
Yep,
You saw
I
the
got you.
reruns.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was watching them too. I love
like,
that
I
show.
love that show. Like,
Yes.
Max is Max.
Max
but
is my favorite. She's
Yes.
my favorite 90s character
Cray
of all
cray.
time.
But I love her.
Oh yeah.
And there was the episode when she was running for politics, and
Oh,
she was
yeah.
just nuts. And Khadijah was just like, and it, like her, they clashed
Yep.
about everything.
Yep.
And then she ended up dropping out, winning by a landslide. And then Sinclair, who's the woo woo woo,
Yep.
and
Yep.
she was like, you know, let's talk. She's like, do you think like you won based on this, or did Sha-Asia's vote put you over the edge? And Max is like, what? Like, we disagree on everything. You thought I should drop out of the race? She's like, girl, I don't support your policies, but I
Yep.
support you.
You.
To me, that's sisterhood. That's
Yep.
sisterhood. They'll tell you you're acting crazy, but they'll
Yep.
support you anyway.
There you go. Right?
So I love
Hey.
that you're gonna
Yeah.
start a Black
Oh,
women
yeah.
group. Like,
Yes.
I can't wait.
We're
And
excited.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to like you guys at the Sister Circle events.
Yeah,
'Cause,
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we're having a movie night this month. Yes. Like, it's not on there.
Like, we go, tell me when it is. I'll put it on there.
It's not. It's this night. It's the 17th.
Okay.
It's the 17th.
It'll be on there.
Like, yeah, it's
Let
at
me
the
know. That's
yeah,
exciting.
like yeah, girl.
Okay.
So we're trying to do things because, as you know, like trying to do things and host things in spaces. Spaces are expensive.
Yep.
So, you know, and we're trying to put this out there like as a benefit, as a resource for the community.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
exciting. I'll be there.
All right.
Let me know.
I will. All right.
Good
So,
stuff.
what is it like working with your mama, girl? Spill the tea.
No, you know what? My mom is
I'm joking. She's
a
cool.
good lady. Yes, I'm like,
She's
I have
good.
no complaints.
She's
I
pretty
am,
cool.
for whatever reason, we are blessed that we have a really good relationship because
Yeah.
we work and live together.
Yeah, Lord.
And her car is broken right now, so we ride to work, and like we do all the things together. So, but
Yeah.
we're good. Like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
good, and it's nice. I mean, at one point it was just me in that
Yeah.
building all the time by myself, like
Yeah.
trying to make things happen. So, it's nice to have people in there, but especially. I don't play about my mama.
I
so
know. I
I
know.
know you don't either. I don't play about your mama.
No,
either.
no. We do not.
Like,
We do not. Like, they won't allow us to play without
yeah,
them.
no.
But I
Yes.
was glad when she stepped back from the other place where she was and was
Yes.
able to
Yes.
come to the, the village full time and,
Definitely.
work with you, because I think you guys make a great team. I've always
Yeah.
admired you guys' relationship
Thank
from
you.
a long time
Yeah,
ago.
definitely.
And,
Yep.
so I'm
Yep.
pretty, and your mom's pretty chilled out. Like,
she's
your
cool.
mom's
She
pretty
cool.
cool.
She
Like, that
cool.
girl
She-
don't get hype.
She cool.
Like,
man.
she
get
just
hype
say what
if
she
she
say.
need to.
Yeah.
She gonna get live.
She's just say what
She
she
got live
say.
on Monday night.
Did
right
she?
quick,
Lord.
somebody needed it. So
Okay.
then,
She
you know,
just say
it
what
just
she
is
said.
what it
I feel
is.
like she say what she says.
It's like she not wrong.
and out.
You might not like how she said it,
Yeah.
but she's not wrong. So you just can't focus on that part. Because that's what they like to do to black women too, is like
Yeah.
focus on how I said it instead of what I actually said. Like I don't care if
Yeah.
I like did my neck like this. And
Yeah.
Did you hear me though? So
The
you know.
angry black woman trope. Yeah, I get it.
next month.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've started is a critical community conversations, which we're going to do monthly, every
Wonderful.
month. This month we're focused on race, racism, and anti-blackness. And again, like anti-blackness is the idea that I think I had shared this on your show before. The last time we were doing this during COVID.
Yeah.
But that, like, I'm not saying it's a future that I want, but like if all the white people went away, racism would be gone, but like anti-blackness would still be around. And it's the idea that like you don't want your daughter to marry a black man, or black people are treated like you. It's not people of color being murdered by police. It's black people. So it's just, the idea that even people of color have some internalized negative feelings about Black people that need to be talked about. So we're going to have that. Next month, we're going to do one on misogynoir, which might be a new term for folks, but misogyny, like that word literally means, miso means hatred, and GYN, like your OBGYN, means woman. And misogynoir is a term that was created by some Black women that means the hatred of Black women and the very unique thing that happens when Blackness and womanhood comes together. It's like you're hyper visible because everybody wanted, do the baby hairs and wear the big hoops and do the things, right?
Ooh, Lord, no.
And then you're like hyper invisible because, we know Breonna Taylor and maybe one or two other Black women, and we don't know too many others. And, we talk about Malcolm. We don't talk about his wife who was holding things down. We talk about Martin and not, all of that. Talk about Tupac. Don't talk about Afeni and Assata and the women that were, all of that. So more to come, but Black women make the world go round, and
that's awesome,
whether
though.
you like it or not.
That's really cool. You know what? But you said something there. I do think that I don't think that anti-Blackness will go away with if any one race, because I think there are folks that are Black that are anti-Black. So
they have internalized anti-Blackness that we feel a way about ourselves. We've taken what the European people told us, and now we running with it. Which is,
it's unfortunate. Could you imagine if everybody just believed that they were worth it, and just everybody believed that everybody deserved to live and just live
in
your
their full
best
color,
life,
with their full culture, with their
in
holidays,
your full, just
beauty,
everything,
shine, all
of
the
who
things.
you are. So it's funny because I have conversations about DEI a lot, because for me personally, I think that a lot of DEI initiatives and a lot of DEI roles are performance DEI. They're not, truly digging in and doing the work. And I think that sometimes these folks that are putting in the DEI positions, they're operating at a disadvantage because they don't have any resources, they don't have a network, they're just thrown there, and then just a lot of things, anything Black is just thrown at them, and they're expected to handle it without the connection, without the resources. So it is challenging. But I was watching something the other day, and it was a news show, and it was I heard this guy, it explained DEI. I mean, I've heard it explained so many different times, and I know what it is intellectually, and I know what it is emotionally. And he had said something like D&I. He says, diversity means that you're it's you're included in the quota, you're inclusive. When people says they're they're increasing their diversity, he says all that means is that you increase your head count of a particular race, gender, sex,
class of people, religion.
Anything. You can just increase it by one, and that's diversity. So you can say I hit my diversity quota because I had this race working there. Now I have two. So look at that. He says inclusion begins where you not only hire that person that's different, but you allow them to be who they are in that space. You don't try to convert them to okay, now we're in this space, you need to act like this. Me accepting you, if I'm being inclusive, diverse, and inclusive, is hiring Sha-Asia, the Black woman, and allowing her to fully be that Black woman in that space, and don't say to her, all right, now you got to do this, now you got to do that, you have to wear certain clothes.
Yeah, I'm I can't wear my headscarf, can't wear my dashiki, can't talk hot talk, and all the
you
things.
Cannot, you can't.
I wish somebody would tell me I can't wear my hoops nowhere though. Please.
Well, ain't nobody gonna do that, girl.
I'm you're not gonna catch me outside without earrings. That's my thing.
Yes,
but.
No, it's okay. We all have a thing. I mean,
yes,
I have a lot of
has
things,
it.
but
I love all the things.
But. We got it. We gotta love each other. Girl, I love you.
I love you already know I love you too. You know that.
We already know. So yes. So I know that edutainment we talked about, or story edutainment, and you mentioned that you're going to educate, but you're going to entertain, because no matter what happens, we're always going to dance, we're always going to sing, we're always going to do something. We're going to find a way. Think about to all those nigger spirituals, how they form, they're whatever, and taking from your home, and creating their own languages and their own dialect, and things like that. So we are very creative. So
absolutely.
In terms of the entertainment sphere, what's on top for the Village for the upcoming months?
That's a great question. Well, we're excited. So we had 2 free drum workshops with Crocodile River Music last year. And I think it was a great, there was just magic. Whatever happened, it was amazing. Listen, it was amazing.
I saw you.
And I think they enjoyed being in the village, and the drummers, our instructors, learned from us, and we obviously learned so much from them. We're interested in continuing a relationship. There might be another set of drum classes. There might be an African dance class at the village.
Love it.
We're going to be continuing our porch concert series, which was really exciting, as a way for us to just kind of be a positive presence on King Street and Main South, because sometimes our street struggles with some challenges, though our building is a loving space and a peace space. But we have local musicians, performers, a full band come and perform on the front porch and do a free live concert at the village, which is exciting. So there'll be plenty more music and dancing. I'm always one to do pull out the paint. Let's just do a paint night or something. So
I love it.
Drives my mom a little bit mad. She's like, why do we need to paint right now? You're really you're gonna have 10 kids paint right now.
Right
in
now.
40 minutes. I'm like,
It's okay, girl. It's okay. We'll talk to see if we can get Sister Circle to do a live singing thing.
Oh, listen, we got a new rap star. As of 5 minutes ago. Listen, you want to be on a porch concert? You let me know.
Let me talk to Sister Circle.
I got a venue. You and Boris can collaborate.
Let me talk to Sister Circle.
Just let me know. I got a space for you if you ready.
Yeah, right?
Just let me know. Have a backyard concert and be the headliner.
I'm just saying. I'm
ready.
All right.
Get you a shirt.
Okay. We in it. All right.
Okay. All of that, right?
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
all right,
good
so
stuff.
the port season. I know that you also you guys went whale watching last year. I was so bummed I wasn't able to go, and you guys saw a lot of whales.
We saw 9 whales, and they had 6. They call them breaches, which is when the whale pops out the water and flops down, which I guess is very rare to see.
Yeah.
And the people were like, I don't know why this was the best trip ever. We were like, that's because we got all these black and brown people on your boat.
Energy.
The whales knew. They was like, let me show out. Listen,
girl, it's energy.
We had 180 black and brown folks from Worcester.
That was massive.
It was amazing. 4 buses.
That was massive.
Oof, that was a good one.
That was massive.
That was a fun one.
That was very fun.
Yes.
And then I know you guys do your annual beach trip.
Yep.
So that's coming
again
up
this year. We were talking about doing some more. We took Jay Brielle, my little halfway baby,
yes,
to a butterfly place. He just got to go, and there was just butterflies everywhere, and there was turtles and all the things. And of course, it's never lost on us that we're the only black and brown people there.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we're imagine if we just filled up a bus of people and
just
brought them out here and just took over the place.
Yeah.
When are kids gonna have that experience? If you don't have a car, you're not gonna get there. So
okay.
I mean, it was a little ride. It was an hour ride away. So it's we're ready to bring our community out. We're open to suggestions. Someone told us we should do apple picking.
Absolutely.
We might do that in the fall.
Absolutely.
So
I love them
more.
apples.
Yes.
That's the only time I bake apple pie. And listen, no, let me tell you.
I respect it.
Listen, when you eat apples from the orchard, you go into the supermarket, they just don't taste the same.
Not at all.
It does not taste the same.
Yep.
I was eating the apples like it was a meal.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And I make apple pie with it. That's the only
it's
time.
I know your apple pie is good.
Yes, it's good. Yes.
I just know. Never had it. All these years I've known you never not once had your apple pie, but I just know it's good.
All right, maybe one
day. We're going to change that this
maybe
year.
Maybe one day I'll invite you over for apple pie and tea.
I just need a little
Although
piece.
you haven't sipped your tea all day. I'm just saying.
And been throwing all types of shade and being messy.
Sip that tea, girl. Sip that tea. Ooh, I like that.
My tea is really good, even though I was being slick. It's yes.
Okay.
All of that, right?
Yes. Have you ever done Tower Hills Botanical Gardens?
We have not, but they are actually in our email right now trying to talk about what does it mean for the village to do something. We're trying to figure that out. So hopefully very soon we'll be over there.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So I know in the holiday they do the Festival of Lights and it's really beautiful. And then it's just beautiful. It's just I've been there a few times. I will say this, I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but it's every first Thursday, I think, of the month, it was like free admission. And then like you just go on and get the tickets. Like order the tickets and just like say, hey, listen, we have 30 tickets. You know, first come, first serve. And like it's a great experience. It's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you get there like with the sunset, like it's really nice. And like there's a telescope, you could see the moon if the moon's out. So that's a different experience.
Definitely.
And you know, trying to find a way how to get it free.
We have a request. I'm putting it out in the universe again so that like universe hears it, ancestors hear it, and like make it happen. But we did put in a funding request, and we just haven't heard back yet, which is a good thing because hopefully they're still chatting about it, about getting like 2 vans so that we can have our own independent transportation.
Love it.
Because like the beach trip and like the whale, like
Girl.
we wasn't making money. Like that wasn't about making money. It's about covering the cost of the buses and covering the cost. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like that's not the intention, but. Like that would mean we wouldn't have to ask people necessarily to do $25. We can ask them to do 10 or something like that if we had our own transportation, because the bus is a fee. You know what I mean?
It is. So like they don't give
it just covers the bus. That's all it does. So hopefully, if we had our own transportation, we could show up in style. Maybe we could go to Boston. Maybe we can go see what's happening in Fitchburg, or do like a day trip to New York and go check out what's out there. There's so much Black history and culture
there's a lot of rats
everywhere.
out there now, but I get it.
Well, the rats now. I did see the rats, and I was not into that.
I am good.
I'm gonna be a rapper because I was rhyming.
All right. Look, and let that beat flow.
See the rat wasn't into that.
Hey,
but I'm into the Black history, so rats miss me.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I was thinking of doing a trip to New York, but I'm like a little nervous because they're not just in. Folks are thinking it's just in dirty, poor places. No, honey, like they're overrun. And they're everywhere. And I don't do that. I don't do rats.
Yeah, the mice are
like
a little
extra. I'm not like people's like, oh, it's cute. No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
We're not into the mice either on our end. So.
No, not at all. So, my goodness, I can't believe like
more to come.
An hour flown by.
I know.
Like it flew. So I know we have to wrap up. So before we wrap up, like, is there anything that we missed that you would like to highlight and just let folks know how to connect with you?
It's a great question. I would say just like similar to how we opened, just remember that it's important to be Black and beautiful and resist and do all the things we're supposed to do year round, not just in February. And the Village is one of many places and people and in community that are providing opportunities for folks to celebrate who they are and know who they are through their culture, through whatever it is, year round. So find us in February, but also stay with us through the year. And people can go on our, just look up the Village Worcester on everything, on Facebook, Instagram, all the things. You can email the Village at thevillageworcester@gmail.com. And that's the best way to stay connected. We're at 4 King Street. When you hit Maria's Kitchen, take that right, and we're like the second house on the street. And we're a lot of fun. So
I love it. I love it. And it's going to be very live in the summertime because it's always happening. There's always something happening.
Young people around.
Like,
it's busy. There's like 5 things happening at one time. So it's stressful for me and like sweaty for me, but
it's all right.
It's nice for everybody else. It's a lot of fun.
It's all right. So I didn't ask this, and what do you do for self-care though?
That's a great question. That's the greatest question of the hour.
Because I'm like, you do a lot, and the work that you do is important, but it's also can be heavy.
A little much. It's a great question. I am working really hard to figure out what the boundaries are with the Village. I think we create a loving space where people love to like just drop in on like a Tuesday at 2, and I'm like, I do work here, like I do real work, not just like hold space for people all the time. Which is fine. Like I'll do it anyway. But I think we've done such a beautiful job of creating such a welcoming space that people love to be in the space all the time. Like we thought we were gonna be out the Village at 8. We weren't out till like 9:30 yesterday.
Okay.
So I am working on creating like some loving boundaries with the Village and respecting that like Monday is my day off. I'm not answering no emails or no phone call. I don't care what the deadline is. Like I'm not doing it on Monday. And I'm hoping when the weather gets nice to be able to spend more time like in nature when I have my day off and my time away. To promote self-care.
That's good.
Yeah.
So boundaries, it's important.
It's an important thing. I'm learning.
It's critical. It's critical to understanding that you need boundaries, even from those that you are helping.
Even with work you love, even with all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And self-care. But don't just wait till the weather is nice.
I know. I just don't want to be outside. Like they say it's supposed to be negative 32 degrees, and I'm like. Maybe I'll do some painting. Like I always let my kids paint, and I clearly like it, but I don't do it. So
I love that.
I'm
just
gonna do
paint.
that. Yeah.
Like eat for half an hour every Monday.
Yep.
That's
a good
it.
thing.
It's calm. It's relaxing. You're not answering anything.
There you go, right?
All right, cool.
I'm gonna be painting more.
All right. I love it. I love it. I
Make
love
an
it.
Instagram for Sue and Sha-Asia the artist. I'm ready.
Lord, we don't get new careers here. I love it. All right.
15.
All right, listen. So I can't believe we've run out of time.
I know, that was fast.
This was fast. This was such a good show.
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you
Yes.
for being on. I appreciate you. I love you.
I love you
I'm
too.
so proud of the work that you're doing, and I
you.
know that for you, this work that you're doing, it's not comfortable. Because having critical conversations about race, racism, and all of it, it's not easy to have, and some folks are uncomfortable. But I'm glad that you are continuing to do the work.
Yes.
And this is why it's important for you. Please find self-care.
Figure out self-care.
You do.
Yep.
You have to, because it takes a toll. And I look at activists like Tamika Mallory and like Sean and all of them. Like it takes a toll on them.
Yeah.
And so just take care of you.
Thank you
It's
for the
important.
reminder. I appreciate the reminder
It's
always.
important.
Yes.
If you want to keep doing the work you do, you have to take care of you.
Yep. Give
right.
from the cup full, not empty.
Exactly.
All of that.
Can't run on an empty tank.
Never that.
Although I try though, because I don't like pumping gas.
Not because I don't like pumping gas.
I don't like pumping gas.
Or shoveling snow.
So I.
Come on, Sue. I can't. Look at.
I know folks are gonna think, listen, I do it. I just don't like doing it. All right. So I had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you once again. And I am so looking forward to next Tuesday.
Yes.
When I'm at the Village teaching a class, and I'm
Yep.
looking forward to Black History Month and everything that's happening at the Village,
Definitely.
and you just, everything that's coming up for the Village. So
stuff.
I'm watching you, girl.
Thank
I'm proud
you.
of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
inspire
you.
me. I love it. I love it.
Word.
All right, guys. So
Thank you.
it's been an amazing hour. I enjoyed my time here today. I hope you learned something. I hope you have been inspired to seek knowledge and self-care and take care of others, but absolutely take care of you. And until next time, this is Suzanne signing off.
Peace.